Today we're discussing with Alex Khan, Germany's #1 social media expert. Hi Alex, welcome to Cyprus first of all, and thank you so much for having this, giving us this honor and opportunity having you with us in our first podcast.
Well, thank you. I'm very stoked and happy and excited to be here.
Great. So, Alex, today through the masterclass that was organized by BOUSSIAS Cyprus, I'm sure the outcome and the results were like amazing as I participated also. But from the people I heard and the comments I got, what was your feeling out of this masterclass?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy that we can do this in physical form.
Obviously.
It was virtual for the last year, so that's the thing I enjoy the most. And the crowd was amazing. I mean, there were interesting questions. There were solid arguments. We were discussing, we were teaching a couple of new strategies. And now the question becomes if they implement what we talked about today.
Okay, great.
But we'll see.
Okay, so let's go one step backwards and let's go and see what is really the power of social media from your understanding and from your as an expert in this field.
I believe if you want to sell a product or service, what you need are three things. First, the people need to know you, the people need to like you, and the people need to trust you.
Okay.
And I believe social media is a great tool to achieve just that. It has billions of people using it. We have a like button, we have a love button, we have all these features where people can show that they like something. You see what they like, how many people are liking it, you can improve your strategy. And over time, by sharing screen time with them, you can build trust, not only by yourself, but also by other people can say something positive about you. And that's increasing trust again. So I believe because of these three factors, which social media has, it has a huge power to make people wanting their products and services of the clients in their lives.
Okay, it's heard very easy, but I think it's not so easy. I mean, you have to have the knowledge around it, right? And one thing that I was amazed through the whole master class was the 3 C's, the context, the content, and the community. Can you please explain a bit about this 3 C's and how you managed to put it in the proper context, so anybody that is in the marketing now department of any company can understand practically how it works?
Yeah, sure. So the concept is, first of all, you need content. It makes sense. Everybody says content is king. And there are lots of different ways to produce content. It could be in written form, known as text. It could be images, or it could be video, or it could be live video. That's clear so far. But the great thing is if you put content into context. What I mean by that is there are certain holidays. We have Mother's Day, we have Valentine's Day, we have Christmas, we have New Year. And when you post something around these dates, it gets more likes because it's contextual. But there's even more. There's the weekend. There might be every day there is in almost any country special days. Day of the coconut, day of the kissing, day of the dating, right?
Day of the hugging.
Exactly. If you use this, it makes a lot of sense. So try to put content into context. And then the community aspect is let them be a part in it. What I mean by that is asking a question. Like, for example, do you agree with it? How do you see it? Have you experienced it? So there are different ways to include the community. We have to understand social media is not a monologue. The great thing about it is a dialogue. So if you include your community, it will first of all get you more likes and comments. But second, it will give you more trust and likability.
Great. And it is a two-way communication, obviously,
Absolutely.
because you can interact. Okay, now another question that always through discussions with different friends that they are specializing in marketing, and we are questioning it, and I would like to hear your opinion. What is the future of social media? We saw the last few years a lot of changes in the social media. Couple of years before, Facebook was the most powerful tool. Now all of a sudden other tools are coming. TikTok, completely new social media platform, is getting it got a lot of hype, and we see that exponentially they're growing really fast. What is the future of social media?
Well, let me maybe just start with the status quo, because you just mentioned Facebook/Instagram and also TikTok. So maybe let's talk about the difference, because there's a main difference between Instagram and TikTok. Instagram is a status platform. It means like the more followers you have, the more reach you get. Versus TikTok is a content platform. It's basically by the algorithm, right? So the TikTok algorithm decides if something is shown or not. If you open the Instagram app, what do you see? You see the people that you follow, you see the content of the people that you follow. If you open the TikTok app, you see what the algorithm decides what's important for you.
Okay.
So if you think and you compare those two, it's very important to understand that for TikTok, for example, a post could get viral, although you just have 100 followers, 200 followers. So we see that this is the better model. So in the future, I believe Instagram will more and more incorporate it in form of reels, for example, because it seems to be more interesting what the billion people are posting instead of the 100 people that I follow, right?
True.
So that's the status quo. So now we can think of what will happen in the future with it. I believe there won't be like a big social network, something like Facebook again or TikTok again. I believe the next social network will be based on a new technology. It could be either way something with audio. We see it, the Siri and Alexa. It could be something with blockchain, Decentraland, Sandbox, or it could be something with Web 3.0, blockchain, NFTs. I believe the next social network will be based or will be a combination of the new technologies which will come up, and we will see which one will make it.
So maybe all the people that are listening to this podcast now, obviously it's clear that what you knew like maybe a month ago is not good enough to be effective in what. So it's a constantly, you have to constantly be following the trends, reading, and I'm sure you do a lot of reading as a company to be able to follow up. One other thing that a lot of times through discussions I'm listening is, okay, so if I'm the marketing manager or I'm in the digital agency and I'm doing all this work for a company, which platforms do I have to use? I mean, how many platforms do I have to use? Because I think we are overloaded with so many information, so many choices. And the question is, what is the magic formula, if I can say it?
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is no magic formula, right? Okay. So the first question you should ask yourself is, are you in the B2B or B2C industry?
Great.
So if it's a B2B industry, I believe LinkedIn is the place to go right now. If it's B2C, you should ask yourself, how old is your target audience? Is it a younger target audience? So maybe TikTok is better. Or Instagram. If it's an older one, maybe Facebook is the right one. So I would start with the ones where I have the highest chance that most people in my target audience are actually using it right now. And then learn. First of all, before you start, you pick the right platform. Then you identify which competitors of yours are using this platform already. There are tools where you can identify it, or you just visit the pages and see what they are doing. Make a list of the posts that work and think, what do you have in your company which is similar to the best post that you identified? And then you build a strategy from that. You should set up goals and say like, okay, in the next 12 months, for example, I want to achieve X amount of followers, X amount of reach, X amount of sales, whatever your KPIs are. And then track it down, break it down, and say, okay, what do I want to achieve per month, per week, per day, and work from there. You should start with producing content. You should identify the right influencers to work with. You should have a budget for paid social. So it's a little bit complex, as you can see.
It's not a simple yes or no.
But the important part is you have to ask yourself the right questions before you start.
So the questions are?
The questions are, what is my product? What's the industry I'm in? How old is my target audience? Which content could I produce? What do I have in-house? What maybe I should have external? Could be consultants, could be an agency.
Outsource, yeah.
Exactly. It's a make or buy decision all the time. And then I should ask myself, what should be the goals within the next month? And then make a plan and start and execute. And don't do it on a daily basis to say it didn't work, this post got less likes than the post yesterday. It should be more an overall picture and it should go in the right direction.
Okay, great. So if I wanted you to give some tips to the marketeers out there that are listening to this podcast, which would be those tips?
Well, besides the one that I just shared, right? That's more like the roadmap and what to do. I believe it's very important, first of all, to use the right tools. So we can talk about a couple of apps, which I believe make a lot of sense. One is, as video is the most important right now. I mean, YouTube is long form video, but also Instagram, TikTok, they all use video. The problem is, in the first tool, which is a tip to use, is BigVu. It's BIGVU, because it turns your smartphone into a teleprompter. That makes it a lot easier, right? Or you use a tool like InShot to cut videos, for example. Or you use Mojo, which is an app which is basically using templates, and you can just animate your pictures and videos and cut them together. So I would use the right tools and identify the right people, because at the beginning it will be hard to produce content because you don't know about how to produce content. So I would work with some influencers at the beginning, can be smaller one, depending on the size of the country, and then send them your products and give them a little guidance and see what they do and adapt from it. And understand that not everything is happening on the first day. It needs some time, you know. Social media is a language. You have to learn it.
Yeah, and it is like a trial error process, right?
Absolutely.
Because there's never, as you mentioned before, there's no magic formula. Great.